G'day guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. Now in today's video, I'm running through my top 10 for the 2021 AFL Brownlow Medal. So I'm going to be running it from 10th spot to 1st spot, and we're going to be looking at the players' season averages as well to see why I think they should be in the positions that they are. So yeah, let's get straight into the video and hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright, coming in at 10th spot, I've put in Tom Mitchell. Had another terrific season this year, did Tom Mitchell. His season average for disposals was 34.3, and that was at an elite level for himself. And his season average for total clearances was 4.7, which was above average as well. His kicking efficiency was at 9.4, that was his season average, and that was at an elite level. And his average for contested possessions was at 11.5, with uncontested possessions being at 22.9. And his effective disposals was at an elite level. He averaged 25.5 effective disposals as well. So that's why I put Tom Mitchell as the 10th place. Coming in at 9th place, I have your boy Took Miller from the Gold Coast Suns. His season average for disposals was 31.8. and that was at an elite level for himself. And his season average for total clearances was at 5.7, sorry, and that was at an elite level for himself as well. His contested possessions and uncontested possessions were also at elite levels for himself. His kicking efficiency was above average this season with 65.9 his average, and his disposal efficiency was at an average level, and it was at 71.6. So he's had a good year this year, Took Miller, and that's why I put him in at 9th spot. In the 8th spot, I put in Zach Merritt from the Bombers. His season average for disposals was 31.5, and his total clearances were only at 3.7, which was his average for this season. His disposal efficiency was above average at a rate of 74.3, and his effective kicks were at 9.8, which was at an elite level. His effective disposals was at an elite level as well at 23.4 as well. His contested possessions were above average this season, so were his uncontested possessions, coming in at an elite average of 22.4. So he's had a great season, Zach Merritt. That's why I have him in the number 8 spot. In 7th spot, I put in Christian Petracca. His season average for disposals was at 28.8, so not at the 30, but still a good number. His kicking and marking averages were at an elite level for himself this season, and his total clearances were at an elite level of 6.2 for his average. Yeah, so some more great numbers for Petracca. His disposal efficiency was at an average of 61.4. His kicking efficiency was a bit below average at 50.5, but his effective kicks were at an above average level of 8.2 as his average for this season. His contested possessions were an elite level for himself at an average of 13.5, and uncontested possessions were an average of 15.2 as well. So another great season for Christian Petracca, and I've got him in at number 7 for the Brownlow. In 6th spot, I have Darcy Parish. His season average for disposals were at an elite level of 30.5. His total clearances were at an elite level of 7.6 as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. His disposal efficiency was average this season, and it was at 72.3, which is a crazy average to have for disposal efficiency. And his kicking efficiency was also at an average of 62.2, which was crazy to see, which is crazy to see as well. That's his average, and it's still a great number for himself. His effective disposals were at 22 on the nose, and his contested possessions were an elite level, along with his uncontested possessions as well. So Darcy Parish had a great season this year, and I've got him in for number 6 on the Brownlow. Coming in at number 5, my top 5 is, well, my number 5, sorry, is Sam Walsh. His season average for disposals was 29.8, which I think should have been a bit higher, but it is what it is. His total clearances were at a season average of 4.7, which for him is an above average rate. His disposal efficiency was above average this season at 74.4, which is absolutely craziness. And his effective disposals were at 22.2, which was an elite level for himself. His contested possessions went up this season. His uncontested possessions went to an elite level of 18.5. So Sam Walsh is my 5th spot for the 2021 AFL Brownlow. In 4th spot, we have Jack Steele. His season average for disposals was 22.9, and his total clearances were at an elite level of 6.3, which is a crazy elite level to have for total clearances. His disposal efficiency was at an average, and this is an average of 70.6. His kicking efficiency was at an average as well of 61.4, with his effective kicks going up to an elite level at an average of 8.7, and same with effective disposals going up to an elite average of 20.6. His contested possessions were also at an elite level, or an elite average, of 13.9, with uncontested possessions going above his average at 15.1. So Jack Steele had another great season, had a great season for the Saints last year, and backed it up this year with another great season. In 3rd spot, we come into the top 3. In 3rd spot, we have the Marc Bontempelli. Now the reason I put him in 3rd spot, now I haven't said this for a lot of people, but I probably should have, is that he's probably going to have a few votes stolen off of him, but I still feel like he'll be good enough to grab hold of the 3rd spot. It could be Steele, to be honest, but I feel like the Bont will just cling onto it. His season average for disposals were at an elite average of 26.8, and his season average for total clearances was above average for himself at 5.5. His disposal efficiency was at Huntsman's favourite number of 69, and his kicking efficiency average this year was 60.1, which is still pretty decent. His effective disposals went up to an elite average of 18.5, with his contested possessions going above average at 11.1, and his uncontested possessions going at an elite average of 17. So still a great season for Bontempelli, but I think he will finish in 3rd spot. Now, in 2nd spot, we have Clayton Oliver. Clayton Oliver is my 2nd spot. He had a season average of 31.5 disposals, which was at an elite level for himself, and his total clearances was at an elite level as well at 7.5 was his season average, so that's ridiculous. His disposal efficiency went above average this season at 69.4, and his kicking efficiency wasn't the best, but it was at 56.1 nonetheless, and his effective disposals were at an elite average of 21.9 for himself, with also contested possessions being at an elite average for himself at 17.5, and his uncontested possessions being at above average of 14.1. So another great season for Oliver. He really lifted this season, and who knows, he could be a winner for the D's come grand final time, but we'll just have to wait and see. But here's my 2nd spot for the Brownlow, with my 1st spot being Ollie Wines coming in at my top spot. His season average for disposals was 32.4. His season average for clearances or total clearances was 5.9, and they were both they were both at an elite average for himself this season. His disposal efficiency was below average, but it was still at 68.5 in total, and his kicking efficiency was 50.6. So you know, not the best readings, but they're still pretty decent, with his effective kicks going above average at 7.6 in total this season, and his effective disposals going to an elite average for himself at 22.2. His contested possessions and uncontested possessions were at an elite level for himself at 14.8 contested and 17.2 uncontested. So you can read all the numbers you like, but we'll just see how it goes. I feel like a lot of the time votes may be stolen from a lot of players like Bontempelli, and obviously you got Paris, who may have votes stolen from Merritt, and you know, the opposite way could go around. And you know, I feel like Walsh goes in front of Paris because he doesn't really have too many players to steal votes off him. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting Brownlow count, this one. There is, you know, it's completely up in the air who's going to win, but we'll see how it goes. Cheers guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.